Or you want to take a look at Project Diesel Warrior. It's episode like 6 or 7 of 582 that's bound to get done. Got a light shining on my work area. This is the area I'm getting ready to work on. I'm getting ready to put a patch in here. The reason we have a light is because in our magic hood, you go to shade 4, I think it is, and there's what we see through the magic hood with the light helping us out. Okay, now if we cut the light off with the power switch, here's what we see, and here's what we see through the hood. Now this is weird because what the flip is actually picking up is better than what you can see with the naked eye, but it's a lot more difficult to see your work without any light. So we're going to run some light to be able to weld. Sounds stupid, but it's starting to get a little dark. We're having trouble seeing. Let's go take a look at what we got done so far. Oh, that's my baby. Alright. All of this has been welded in. All of this lip has been welded. Bam, bam, bam. I just finished this and that, which is bound to be hot. Not beautiful beads, but good beads. We got this finished. Bam, bada, bada, bam, bam, bam. Look at that. We got that finished and all of that finished. I'm not real happy with how all the welds on that turned out, but they are good welds. Especially right there. I don't know what happened. I had a retard moment. I started filling in slug welding some of these holes. I'll come back and smack them down with the welder, make them flat. I want to get all of those and all of these up here, all of those along the board, so I can come back and grind and weld them up and grind, and they'll be nice and flat like it was meant to come that way from the factory. I will come back and take a look at Sweetheart here in just a minute. Oh dang, what am I doing up here? Oh, I can't get that up. My T50 broke trying to take it up with a cheater bar. So now that I have a welder, I'll weld a nut on top of it and then put a cheater bar on it. Impact that I have, I don't even see it in the truck. 110 volt impact from Northern. Love it. But it doesn't have enough balls to get that off. So I'm going to have to weld a nut on there. Really good, really deep, good penetration. And put oh my god to it and get that son of a bitch out of there. That's got to come up for me to paint. Another trick that what needs to be done is on the underside is I need the candle. In other words, I'm going to put like a 500 watt light like that down here, shine up here when it gets dark. Then I'll come up here and I'll look, and any place that I see a little pinhole of light, I'll circle here and here or wherever it is, and then I can come back and sock it to it. I'll weld on ground clamp from Harbor Freight. $4, works pretty good. However, you can't get some flash on it if your ground's not seated real good. It sounds like gas and weird ass. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Need to clean my tip. 030 wire, Harbor Freight wire, running just fine. Tweco style gun and cup. Going to Eastwood MiG 135. I love this welder. I've done a lot of welding. I've welded professionally, and this is my true love. I'm sorry, I'm tearing up over here. Anyway, about F4.5 is what I'm running. Straight CO2. We'll take a look at that in a second. Oh, look how much wire I've done run already. That's my spool 030 that I've done all my welding with. Posneg for MIG, and gasless flux core, which is bullshit. We'll talk about that in a second. This holds your gun in. This is your drive wheel tensioner. This wheel here comes in a package and you have to pop it in this bracket. No big deal, I don't give a shit. Gun trigger, gas comes through here into the hose. 030 straight CO2. I'm running about 18 gauge F4. I'm running actually F4.5, works real good. So I'm somewhere in between 16 and 18 gauge, more or less. Yada yada. It says 5/16 G3 with 035 flux core. It does not recommend shielding gas. Okay? Bullshit. I run CO2 with standard flux core, Harbor Freight flux core, 035 flux core with CO2 on these settings, and it runs hot. And the beads lay down a lot flatter than if you don't run gas. It works, believe me. I want to show you. Okay, what we have here is a regulator that came with it. We're looking at about 800, 900 psi. And then it'll go to 500. It'll trickle down. It's just like your car gasoline gauge, fuel gauge. The second half of your tank goes a lot faster than the first half. Approximately 10 liters per minute, or 20 cubic feet per hour is what we're sitting on. You can see it's frosting up a little bit, no big deal. It's warm enough, it won't freeze. So this is where the regulator ends. This is the argon CO2 regulator to CO2 adapter from here to here. This allows you to put this on a standard CO2 canister tank. This red adapter is from theadapter.com, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and fix it. And this allows you to run a paintball CO2 can on a standard CO2 regulator. This emulates the end of the regulator, and that connects you to the argon CO2 mix regulator. Okay? Yes, you can run straight CO2 on a mix regulator. If this heats up, if this starts freezing up, just put a little heat on here. A hair dryer or a light or something to warm up your CO2 just a little bit. They do show a preheater on straight CO2. I've never seen an incident where you needed it. I ran straight CO2 professionally with a Millimatic 250. God, that's a machine. I love that machine. 045 flux core E71T1 flux core dual shield wire. That's good wire. God have mercy. My cutting table, my templates I used, my suicide wheel. Gotta wear that. One of these jokers flies apart. If you ain't got that, you know it. You're gonna lose your eye. Let's take a look. Handrail pipe welded with flux core 035 and CO2. It doesn't look real good right here. I still need some practice, but there's about a 1/16 of an inch gap, and I was still getting the swing of it. I'm still trying to figure out push or pull. I believe I ran a pull on here, but it still did pretty good. I have no problems with this weld. I might have some problems with the alignment, but it looks like it did pretty good the way I lined it up. Anyway, this was for practice, fun, shits and giggles when I first got it. It had been, prior to these beads on this pipe and some other scrap material, it had been probably 6-8 years since I run a MIG bead. So this was, this ain't perfect, it ain't pretty, but it's there. I have no problems installing this pipe in a structural environment, and that's you can see the pipe thickness. That ain't shit. With the flux core, turn the heat up, and the straight CO2 is the shielding gas to go with it. Running it dual shield, even though it's not prescribed that way. Yeah, 3/8 should be obtainable. It said 3/16. Oh, you could probably go somewhere between 3/16 and 3/8. Time's up. Gotta go. Bye.